Namaskar, and a very warm welcome to all of you in this episode. I have spoken to you about one important issue in one of the videos, I think about 6-7 months back, and that is the power of habit. The habits are very, very important. Whatever habits we have formed over a period of time are the ones which are making us to do certain things or not do certain things. Do those things in a certain manner or in a different manner. So these habits are so powerful, and at times we don't pay attention to their power at all. You know, those sometimes those small things which we consider to be very small, they may create big problems for us, or they may be a very, very big help to us in many ways. And this particular thing came to my mind based on what is happening in today's time, that and if I talk in detail about that, it will take quite long, but let us be brief and try to look within. And when I say within, I mean I'm also the part of the same group which really follow these things. Whenever we open an account in a bank, there are many conditions which are there. How many of us seriously read those conditions? Whenever we apply for a loan, either for a property or a vehicle, how many of us read those conditions which are there so seriously before signing that document? When we go for health insurance or otherwise insurance, how many of us read those conditions when we will be able to get the claim cleared very, very efficiently? Do we read it very seriously, or we just sign it? And many of us, whenever I spoke to many people to whom I met in the last few days, that did they read these instructions conditions, most of them said, no, we did not. We didn't have time, and we believed whatever was told to us by the person sitting across the table. Now that person sitting across the table would have spoken you verbally, but whenever the claims are to be decided, or some issue comes out to be, it will be based on the paper which you had signed and they had signed. And while talking about it, this is the time when India, you have the examinations going on. So I could recall of the instructions which are given to the children in their admit cards. And why do I talk only of the recent happenings? It is during the course of the year when the candidates would be appearing in different examinations. They would be filling the forms to apply for a particular either a post for an employment or an admission in some college or university. Now, while filling the forms, do we read those instructions very, very carefully before starting filling the form? Or we just start filling the form, and then we commit some mistake, and later on some corrections are to be made, or we face some problems, our form being rejected. Now leave that aside. After that, those candidates who would have applied it successfully, whenever they get admit card for the examination to be conducted at one particular center, once again instructions given to them. What are those items which they can carry along and the items which cannot be carried along? The place where they would be appearing in the examination. And many people just read it is that particular location. They don't read what particular institution or organization they would be going to. And there may be 2-3 organizations of the same name in the same city. And then you go to one which is different than the one where you should have reached. And now there is panic button. And now look at these children who would be appearing in class 10th or in class 12th examination. They have only started appearing in that. And despite the fact that teachers in the schools and the parents at home would have definitely told the children to read the instructions carefully, to even check the center a day before the examination. But still, I mean, people take it casually. They don't pay so much of attention where they have to pay a lot of attention. I don't know what are those issues on which we are paying a lot of attention, and we don't pay attention to the issues or the situations where we have to pay a lot of attention. So children suffer, and we all suffer. Like in schools, I can talk about as an educator that whenever a circular would come from a board or any educational body, how many of us read it very seriously? How many of us try to understand what is meant, what has been sent to us by mail or by letter or by message? When a message is sent or circular sent to the teachers in the school, how many of them read every line very carefully? They might be reading one word or one line and would be making out some inference out of that, some decision out of that, and will act without really understanding the complete context. Somebody would have sent a mail to me, and in that mail there would have been something very important, but then I have to read the entire mail to understand what that person meant me to understand or to do or to know or to act upon. So, these are situations, and every one of us, I would not say these are the children only who are little casual and not very conscious about what they are reading or what they are doing. But we all are into that situation. So why is it happening so? Is it because of this fast age era in which everything is being done so fast? We want to send everything very fast, we want a reply very fast, and we want an action very fast. And we are not really spending time on thinking how to go ahead in that particular situation. I always say that it is always good to pause, because that will give you a very, very deep insight in what is to be done and how is it to be done. But the unfortunate situation is that we all have got into that mode of being in hurry, doing everything very, very fast. That starts right from the beginning. Everything should come to us very, very quickly. I should get an answer through Google or ChatGPT, within no time, and we feel so great of getting that answer within no time. But don't you think it is making us habitual of doing everything very fast and then not really going deep into that at all? Nowadays people feel like they know everything just by reading one line, one message, one WhatsApp message, one Instagram message from somewhere, and they think that we know so much about it. Knowledge doesn't come so easily. It requires a deep thinking, deep listening, deep reading. It doesn't come that way. People took years to get some insight into something. It doesn't happen just by reading one line or one sentence. Same is, when we don't do that, because reading habits of all of us have reduced to almost, I don't know, what should I say? These have reduced. We don't pay so much of attention to reading. So that comes in our day-to-day life also. And that's why we sign so many documents and we ignore reading those instructions or circulars that seriously as we should do, so that we act appropriately based on whatever we have understood out of it. While I was talking in one of the organizations on some topic, I came across one very important thing that is related to something different, but I would take only one word out of that: listening carefully. We have to listen, and similarly reading very carefully. These two are very, very important. Listening very carefully and reading very carefully. With that intention of listening and intention of reading should always be there, very, very strong. Then only we would be a knowledgeable person. We would understand a bit more than what we knew about. So when these children who are going to appear in different examinations, my advice always has been, and I would do it through this video, and teachers must convey to their children, that please read the instructions very carefully in the question paper also. Once you have reached, you have to read the instructions in your admit card, and also you will have to read the instructions in your question paper as well. Now, why am I saying so? It is because that sometimes there are instructions which children feel like we know, and they just jump into writing the answers of starting from question number one or from whatever question they want to start from. Like, take an example. Suppose in one of the instructions it is mentioned that in section B, out of 5 questions you will do 3 or 4, or there is some internal choice, and you don't read this instruction. You do either all 5 or you do both the or and otherwise also. And then you lose marks, you lose time, because you have spent more time than what you should have otherwise done, and then you also likely to use marks. So is it the problem of intellect, or it is the problem of attention? To me, it appears as it's not intellectual problem, it is attentional problem. So that's what I am trying to convey to all of you. So it should be made mandatory for all of us that whatever it comes, I mean, we have to do it ourselves. I mean, nobody else would make it mandatory. Whatever comes to us, we have to read it very carefully. And when I was thinking about it, that why would it have happened so? See, there was a time when we used to have videos, or if I go to movies in India, these would be of 2.5 hours to 3 hours. Whereas in the other countries, it will be of 1.5 hours or like 1 hour, 45 minutes and all that. So our habit of watching something for a longer period was always there. But later on, it got reduced to like 30 minutes and then 25 minutes, then 10 minutes, then 1 minute in the form of reels. Nowadays, everybody tells me that don't create a video which is longer in length. I mean, why should it be done so? I mean, when there is some words, because you can't say everything possible in one line or one word. For that, you need to explore lot many things, and based on that, you will be able to gain anything out of that. I keep telling people that when you go to the classroom or you go give some presentation somewhere, you will have to prepare for at least 4 hours for an hour or 45 minutes presentation. If you prepare only for 45 minutes, I mean, you are likely to get derailed somewhere. You can't do much. You will be able to do it only for 10 to 15 minutes. So we have to read more, we have to listen more, and we have to read carefully and listen carefully. Then only we would be able to gain something out of that, whatever is there. When we call of Samudra Manthan, I mean, the entire Samudra cannot be, but then we have to do a lot of Manthan in that Samudra to get that Amrit. So Amrit would not come just dip into and get Amrit. You don't do that. I mean, it's not there at all. It requires a lot of efforts churning the Samudra. Then only you get that. So you will have to read everything, and you have to make this habit maybe considered as to be, why should it be talked about, हमारे पास इतना समय कहाँ है? नहीं, समय तो निकालना पड़ेगा. If you will have to understand things properly, do things properly, and save yourself from those problems which you can fall into later on because of the mistake you would have committed at the time of not reading it while you were signing it. I mean, that would be an issue. तो मेरी अभी आप सब लोगों से यही रिक्वेस्ट रहेगी कि आप खुद भी ये डालें, और मैं खुद भी ये आदत डालूंगा. मेरे से भी ये चूक होती है. आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट आई डोंट डू इट. मेनी टाइम्स आई ऑल्सो डू इट बिकॉज आई थिंक दिस इज व्हाट हैज कम टू मी. आई एम अवेयर ऑफ इट, सो आई डोंट रीड इट. आई जस्ट रिप्लाई इट. नो, देयर मे बी अ फ्यू थिंग्स विच वुड हैव बीन डिफरेंट देन व्हाट आई न्यू बिफोर. सो हमें अपने बच्चों को भी ये बात बतानी है. छोटी सी आदत, इस सिंड्रोम से बाहर निकलो. आई नो एवरीथिंग, आई एम अवेयर ऑफ इट. इससे बाहर निकलना पड़ेगा. जब भी कोई मेरे सामने चीज आए, उसको मैं ठीक से ध्यान से पढ़ूं, ध्यान से समझूं, और उसको समझने के बाद मैं उत्तर दूं. लर्न फ्रेमवर्क की बात मैंने कहीं पे की थी. LEARN. L से मतलब है लिसन केयरफुली. E से मतलब है once you have heard something very very carefully, then explore ideas. उससे निकालो कि what is the meaning of that and what can be otherwise interpretation of that. Then A, ask questions, not necessarily to somebody else always, but to self also. खुद से सवाल पूछो, आपको कुछ उत्तर मिलेंगे इसके आधार पे. Then you must reflect upon those answers. और समझो कि जो आपको आंसर्स मिले वो ठीक है कि नहीं है. और कभी कभार लगे कि मैं ठीक से नहीं समझ पाया हूं, एन से मतलब निकाल लो, नॉट टू गिव अप, अगेन ट्राई. यहाँ पे जो मैं बात आज आपसे कर रहा हूँ, सुनने की तो बात है ही है, बट जो मेरा आज इंटेंशन था, मेरा जो आइडिया आप लोगों से बात करने का था, देन रीड केयरफुली विच एवर कम्स टू यू. डोंट साइन एवरीथिंग विदाउट जस्ट रीडिंग इट और बाई बिकॉज ऑफ द इंस्ट्रक्शन somebody was telling me. इन चीज़ों को हम थोड़ा ध्यान दें. आप इसको प्लीज़ छोटी बात को छोटा ना समझें. ये बहुत बड़ी बात है और हमें बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम से बचा सकती है. और हमारे बच्चों को भी, जो उन्होंने इतनी पूरे साल मेहनत की होती है, इतनी पढ़ाई की होती है, जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ दैट कैजुअल अप्रोच ऑफ नॉट रीडिंग द इंस्ट्रक्शंस वुड कॉस्ट समथिंग वेरी वेरी सीरियस टू देम. सो आई होप यू ऑल विल अंडरस्टैंड एंड टेक इट सीरियसली. Not feel offended that we don't do that. It has come in our habit, so we have to change our habit. And changing habit requires conscious efforts. So go from casual to conscious. Thank you very much. God bless us all.